Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the World Series of Board Gaming. My name is Z Garcia.
And I'm Nick Henning.
And we've got a game coming up for you here, the finals for the ring, baby, of Azul. But before we get to that, we've got John coming in here, sliding in, telling us about today, what's coming up, and showing off this ring. John,
hey guys.
get in here.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man, it's been amazing today. It's been absolutely, there's been some big upsets.
Yeah.
There's been some people that we thought were going to win. But I wanted to bring in the ring for Azul. I took it out to the table today. This year, the diamond is so big this year that we had to get a certificate of authenticity. So every player now gets one of those to take home with them.
Make it valid, right?
Yeah, because she had to do it. Joanna had to do it. So we're pretty excited about that. So that's happening. Day one was just out of control. Not only the ring event's been awesome, but the Phoenix games are just on fire. We sold today more tickets for the Phoenix games today than we did in any 2 days of last year.
Wow.
Yeah, on day one.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's just getting bigger. In fact, they're still selling. I mean, it's not. That was as of 5:30 today, so I don't even know what's going to happen later on. I think Werewolf will probably sell a lot there. Yeah, to crown the first world champion, and Werewolf will be kind of crazy. And then, Azul, they had a lot of players playing in the Phoenix of Azul. Terraforming Mars had a pile of players in brass too. So I've had a lot of people come up to me and tell me they can't wait for me to hand them $250 in cash tomorrow. All you got to do in the Phoenix tournaments is win 2 games, and you get paid out in cash in the morning. So everybody's pretty excited. This is just out of control fun. And excited. We're just excited about each game. And tonight, so we're going to stream Azul and then White Castle, I think, at 8:30.
Well, there's something going on tomorrow, too.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow you open registration, right?
Yeah, this is the big, So tomorrow, the cheapest ticket you're going to get is a stay and play over the next 2 weeks. It'll be open tomorrow. You'll see, there'll be a few games that were taken out.
Yeah.
And a few games going in. Now, what's happening too is a lot of the games we've taken out over the last 3 years, some of them are really good games that we're going to try to put back in.
We got one coming back?
Yeah, we might, maybe so. Maybe a little, when you get on tomorrow, you'll see.
Classic,
Yeah. So we're pretty excited about that. I will tell you, we're making a big Arc Nova announcement on Monday. So tickets are really going. We're growing at 30% year over year right now for the last 4 years, going 4 years now. So this has just become a place where it's a family atmosphere that allows you to be competitive and win crazy prizes the whole time you're here. So yeah, we're really excited about that. So.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
For joining
Good
us.
luck today on this. Good luck on the commentary.
all right.
And we're excited to have you. And thank you very much, guys.
All right, John. Good to see you. Thank you for coming out. That ring is looking good.
It is, and it's going to be the first ring I think that anybody wins at this convention.
That is right. All right. Let's see here. Let's tune into these guys. What's
when
going on?
when he won back to back, and then
All right, so we've got out there,
Okay.
folks, just so you
can
know,
start.
3
Eric,
competitors
your
at
first
this
player.
finals
You've got
table.
first choice.
We've got RJ, we've got Joey, and we've
I had
got
the little card
Eric
to pass around.
sitting around the table. You can see their names there. We are...
Eric looks like seat 1 in the bottom right there,
The
going to
training
kick us
wheels. I
off.
need my training
That's
wheels.
right.
So it looks like they already flopped the initial tiles here, and Eric quickly snaps up those 2 blues, kind of going more for not quite the center with where the 2 yellows would be. That doesn't exist, but as close to the middle as he possibly
Hello, everyone
can.
who's
it looks
watching.
like.
Which I imagine has to be a pretty good move.
Yeah,
Trying
Try
not to
to
panic attack.
work your way out from the center.
Exactly. You can kind of like starburst out from that spot there. So he's looking to get the opportunity there. I think the other thing he's noticing is that there's a pile of teals in play right now, or flowers, or white, or what do you call them?
Yeah, the white pieces. I think I call them actually they're the ones that most look like what the game is supposed to represent. They look like azulejos.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of classic pattern.
Yeah.
Of those pieces. I can close my eyes and see them in like bathrooms I've been in, and nice architecture I've seen.
Yeah, they're beautiful. But
So there's a lot of those, yeah.
There's a lot of those which sit right below the double blue. So if he could maybe get a triple of those whites, and then put some just in a nice kind of like pattern to start off at the beginning. RJ in the second seat there grabbed from the center just to get the advantage of going first next turn, it looks like. And then we had in third seat here a grab for 2 blues into the true center of the table there.
Thank
so
you,
a
Game
lot of
Theory
priority
table,
for that center space.
UGA, that's the shout out.
From both players 1 and 3.
The nice table.
Well, there he goes. He grabbed some of the ones we were talking about.
Yes, please.
Keep Bob to get some sweet sponsorship.
There's a lot of opportunities when you're doing that starburst we're talking about to expand out, score them, and then also set up the follow scoring for the bonus 7.
Nick is doing the commentating.
There's a lot of interesting stuff. The players are getting named.
I don't know where
getting
he is.
checked.
Maybe behind the
That's
curtain,
amazing.
like the Wizard of Oz, which I just saw.
They don't want
The
to
sphere.
They don't want to be called out on
Was it
camera,
good?
I'm sure.
I went. Yeah, it was really good.
Joey was
I was.
telling me
They had.
that,
Didn't have enough apples
really
falling down when the tree was shaking. I was hoping that I
You
would
could catch one.
yes, catch one or something.
For Joey,
But
I think it's his first final table
the best part
this
was the
year.
tornado because the
Yeah.
wind
Yeah, that's
just
great.
literally kept increasing in power, and it
He's been
literally
coming
knocked
for,
my hat off.
for all the years of
That was
WSBG,
that was the
so
best. 'Cause all the
definitely been
leaves,
working
the
at that
wind,
gameplay.
it's sprinkled a little
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, these guys have been here at least 2 years now.
And
There's
they
no
gotta
one
do that
brand
if they're
new
charging
to
like
the event
$150 or
itself.
something.
But yeah, some of them are. It's their first time at one of these tables. For sure. And that's, there were some nerves out there when I was talking to these guys a little earlier today. There's some nerves going around.
RJ with a really interesting play here. He saw that there was a pair of blacks in the middle, and he picked them up and then dumped them all the way at the bottom of his board there. Kind of like a called shot for completing that middle column.
I'll take the one blue in
Yeah,
the
that's
middle.
interesting. There's not that many out there. I wonder if that's one that he intends to push on to the next round or try to finish now.
Agreed. I think that he's probably looking long term, but there are those 2. I guess I call them blacks. I'm not sure if that's
Yeah.
So there's 2 blacks sitting up in that top factory up there, and maybe he's just thinking, look, no
I
other
didn't talk
player in play
pretty much
is really
in all my
interested
other
in
Azul
blacks.
matches, but
They
people are
kind of,
watching, so I think they want some commentary.
You're gonna make up the pressure is on.
I was literally like this the entire
So
time.
he might be trying to take advantage
poker
of
player.
the fact that he thinks they'll just leave them for a long
At
time.
the end of this year, they're in Ricky Bobby territory. I don't know what to do with my hand.
Joey just did a nice clean pickup
I
of
have
a blue.
yeah, the Ricky
to
Bobby
finish out
over
his
here. If you hang
3-row
first,
there, which
you're last.
Oh, hey, look at that. He did take them.
Yeah, Eric
Okay.
has no respect for RJ's call. It says, I am interested in that. I am straight up going for the column here. I am going to press these buttons. And he'll snatch that up, which is tough about him.
But it does line up nicely for him on his board if he manages to finish all 3 of those. They are
Yeah,
in
I
a
don't wanna
nice
say too much.
column.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's exactly 2 blacks left in play. So, if he is feeling really greedy, he might wait for them to get shuffled into the middle, pick them up, and finish the 4-row. Whereas RJ does not have that option with the 5-row.
There's also a lot of red out there. No one's going for right now. It is, like you said, sort of a little bit away from the center.
Yeah.
But some of it just got
RJ with
taken.
hearing you, he's you mentioned it.
Yeah, he did go for it. He saw it and he went, okay, I'm going to take these. And there will be, he did finish the row he put them in, just put them in the second row and finished it, so the rest of the red can just sit there and maybe somebody else will take them.
Yeah, we've got RJ playing on column 4, we've got Eric playing on column 2, and then Joey here has a really interesting choice in terms of where is he going to expand out from this central blue spot. It's unlikely, actually maybe even impossible. I think there's only 1 yellow in play, so he can't get the second spot above the 3 there. So his ideal is to either get 2 blues or 2 reds, kind of up and to the left or up and to the right, to make it as close as possible. It's kind of like, I guess I would call it like the reverse starburst from what we've been talking about,
yeah.
where you sort of build it and then sort of collapse inward. That almost works as well when you're at the very beginning of the game. So Joey's got a couple options here, but it's going to then determine who he's sort of fighting with next turn because his opponents are in those other columns.
Yeah, right. I do have a question for you as an expert player here. Do you do much playing on the reverse side of the board where you get to decide where the colors go?
Oh, great question. I do not. Because I'm primarily playing with the WSBG practice in mind. I think that I like the flexibility that it gives you. I find that when I have a powerful game, I tend to just play exactly this pattern anyway, where I'm kind of like copying the diagonals so that I don't accidentally box myself out at the end. But if you're a little bit behind, playing on the gray board is really fun because you get to make some more ambitious plays, and I think it gives an opportunity for players who are having a tougher early mid game to do some catch up by kind of being a little greedy with how they're going to like do their columns and rows. Have you played it much?
I have played, yeah, I've played both sides, and
During the commentary,
they
MC
play
Tech
about the
told me,
same to me.
he's like, "You're
But
not gonna
I
win
was
this-
curious if you
win
know
this game." He said,
you
"You're gonna
guys who
beat
play
Nick
at this
and
level
Earth tomorrow.
found this side to be more
You're gonna win a
strategic.
stupid game. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win, Azul."
I would say I actually
That's-
think
that
the
was
other
his
side is more
encouraging words to
strategic
me.
because you can pull the ripcord and say I'm not going to just build the diagonal pattern and do some funky stuff with it. But I think generally just sticking with the diagonal pattern is like easier mentally.
Right.
You're not going to like put yourself into a spot where you're like, oh, I can't play yellows at all or something like that.
Right, right. And it takes more. It's a little more demanding to see that. Here, you don't need to imagine it.
Exactly. Joey, by the way, did decide to grab the other two reds that, as you pointed out, were very available, kind of moving off into column
Nick, I
4
think he
there.
actually lived near me.
And
We're both
Eric
from
took the
Maryland.
opportunity to grab the
he's in-
single
I think he's in
yellow in
Maryland
play
now.
that we've been talking about to kind of cap this, column 2 that he's really
People
laid
start
claim
posting on
to
the
pretty
Discord where they're from,
aggressively.
Yeah, he's working on it very, very well there.
Yeah.
They are
This
all
year,
lined
he
up.
could've been practicing
RJ's
for the
playing a
entire year,
much
and he didn't
longer
practice
term
the
game here. He grabs the 2 teals in the center column there, and he's sort of setting up like this diagonal, right? He's going down column 2, going down column 3 at the very bottom. He's probably going to try to make him kind of like kiss in the middle,
Took the 2.
which is depending on the timing of how he plays these out, can work out very well, but it might mean that he's going to have some missed victory points if he's completing both the top and the bottom without having them connected.
Right.
It's not the ideal space for him to be in, but it's obviously better than not completing various pieces.
Well, it looks like Eric finished his third row there.
Yeah.
There is technically a chance for him to get his fourth completed as well, or there was until
RJ
that,
says absolutely not.
until that was taken.
He says that's the best start I've seen. I am not going to allow that to happen. And it's not like those blacks are bad for him. That's part of his long-term game plan there.
Absolutely, yeah. That's an easy one to finish next time.
I'm sure he was a little bummed too to see that Joey decided to step in on those teals in the row 4 there, right? Because he took the 2 and said, okay, I'm not going to let RJ take it. Which is going to lead to sort of a race between the two of them next turn because we flip so many. I keep calling them teals whites because we flip so many whites this turn. It's unclear how many will come out next turn. Right? There's kind of when there tends to be a glut of 1,
Right.
fewer in the next round. I'd be really interested to see how that goes.
Well, we know already that RJ, if I'm not mistaken, immediately took first player, right? for next
Exactly.
round,
He's
so-
going to get the kick off, so he has dominance over those choices. Yeah, absolutely. Really interesting line, by the way. Eric was stuck with 2 blues at the end, and he said, you know what, I'm not interested in putting this in row 5. I'm going to put it into the bottom and just take the negative 2 points for the 2 slots. He just took the penalty row.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense here. The blue in the goes into the bottom right of the board, which just doesn't connect to his game plan at all. And so being committed or locked in to having to do blues in the 5th row is too penalizing. He's willing to say, I'll take -2 points just to keep the flexibility and stay on the left side of the board that I've kind of already established is where I want to
Score right
be.
now is
Yeah,
Eric with
yeah,
4,
no, I
RJ
agree.
with
That
2,
is
Joey with 2.
it can really handicap you if you lock yourself into a specific color on that last row. Don't get a flop of any of that the next round. That's 2 rounds without access to a chunk of your playing space.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I actually think there's something really interesting going on Joey's board. I don't know if we can get a zoom in on there, but he ended up claiming the red tile in row 1, the red tile in row 2, and the blue tile in row 3. And that's going to mean that he, in order to maximize his points, really wants to get a single black and a double yellow this turn. He wants to make sure that all those pieces meet each other functionally at the same time. Otherwise, he might miss out on some opportunities for points along there. And so he's a little bit handcuffed in terms of how he wants to move forward. So that's something that he's going to have to pay attention to.
Yeah, agreed.
As we're flipping out the 4 tiles here, we see a triple blue, which, I always look at the triples first. I don't know how you
Absolutely right.
I mean, I look at the quads first, I guess, if they're available.
Very rare, but yes.
And a triple blue for RJ is a kind of a god flip. It's like right there, right?
It really is, right.
We talked about him needing to marry that second and middle column, or sorry, the 4th and 3rd column there. And that is exactly the key piece for it.
Perfect.
So we see, this is part of the advantage of being so aggressive about taking first player in Azul, is that you get to just sometimes get a freebie.
And it's very interesting to me, again, seeing the difference between pro players at a game, any game, and the people who just sort of play casually, very casually. Is he really not going for those? Wow.
Oh,
Well, that's very, very interesting.
It's very interesting. This is, maybe an extremely disciplined take, because we did say that the whites were going to be a source of tension between him and Joey. And so maybe he's doing this because he really just doesn't want to be in a position where he has to do that. But man,
that is an interesting move. Yeah,
I'm amazed to see
don't
this.
know if that's a very aggressive move, right? As you're saying, it's the kind of move that maybe he did have a better move on the table, but not a better move for a second, for like after the first lap, So maybe that's the way to go.
I have a guess about what he's doing here. I think it's maybe a little bit too cute, but Eric really wants those 3 blues as well, right? He's got that second column, and if he gets the 3 blues, it fits in perfectly with him. So he might be trying to pass the buck to Joey and saying, you should take these 3 blues and stick them somewhere that's maybe not so ideal for Joey to stop Eric from getting it. I don't know if that's what RJ is thinking, but if it is, that's definitely like a third layer down
Metagaming,
kind of choice.
He's not going for it, so
Yeah,
it's very interesting. Anyway, I was saying that it's interesting seeing pro players versus casual players. All right, there he goes. There he's taking them. That going for that center tile, the 1 penalty point seems scarier, I think, to casual players.
Oh, 100%.
And to professional players, I mean, the advantage of going first is so big, so tremendous that it happens early, very early, every game, just about every round.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I think that there's something very visceral about taking negative points that when you're looking at it a little bit more analytically, you just maybe don't have the same sort of like emotional connection there. And this whole sequence, I think, worked out extremely well for Eric. It's not horrible for RJ either, who's going to get to go first again next round. It's very rare, even in a 3-player game, I think, at this level of play, that you get to scoop up the first player again for next turn, like twice in a row.
Yeah.
And given that he's, filled out his 4th and 5th rows here, he's probably going to go into next round with a nearly clear board, which is really nice.
I do wonder if maybe that was part of the drive of him letting those 3 blues go around, is when it comes back to me, no one's going to have taken first yet.
I think that's really insightful. I think
that
there's
might
a
be
really
it.
good chance that was the kind of play that he was doing instead of the shenanigans I was suggesting before.
Because, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have let go of the 3 blue. But that's a gambit, right? I mean, that's part of how you do it. You let things ride sometimes.
Yeah. To jump a little bit back to Joey's board, the play where we were so aghast at him taking triple blues, we didn't even talk about the fact that he did rush to get those 2 yellows, which we talked about kind of connecting his board there.
Yeah.
So I can see that he maybe was afraid that other players would take it. Eric certainly is also
Absolutely.
interested in those 2 yellows.
Yeah.
And actually RJ is too. So, those 2 yellows were just as much a point of competition as the 3 blues. And so I think he just said it was more important for his game plan, regardless of how good the 3 blues was other people's game plans.
Yeah. Well, now there's a single, I want to say, 1 or 2 of the black pieces left. So that's probably, as you mentioned, his next, point of connection there might be going for one of those.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And we see RJ here takes a single blue, saying, I am indeed going for this 3 blue spot, right? So it means that he's had his eye on that spot the whole time.
Yeah, he clearly did not miss there being 3 together, right? That was that was a purposeful play.
Oh, yeah.
He knew what he was doing, and it must have been a gambit.
Yeah. They're doing like slow picking right now. This past round has been a lot of single picks. We saw Joey pick a single teal. We saw Eric pick a single red. We saw RJ pick a single blue. So I think they're doing a little bit of position jockeying in terms of just setting up and forcing others to kind of push into the middle.
Yeah.
Eric perfectly happy to pick up the 2 yellows, and he again is just marching down the 3rd column. Red, yellow, blue there, kind of already lined up. He's got that's sort of the best start you want when you're playing at this level, I think.
I told Charity.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like you said, very disciplined and a well put together start there.
RJ is in a little bit of a weird spot here. Ideally, he'd get 2 extra blues, but they're not really anywhere, and so I think he's asking himself if he can kind of push his luck a little bit, make it so that they get all the blues in the middle so that he can kind of scoop them all at one time. And so then he has to ask himself the question of what do I want to put in rows 1 and 2 while I'm there, while also having to be careful that he doesn't get stuck with a bomb at the end, right? If he fills rows 1 and 2 and then has to pick up stuff that isn't blue, that really can hurt. And you pointed out that at this level, players are going to take that first tile for the -1 point, and the -1 point doesn't matter. But when you pick up 2 or 3 other penalties, that -1 point turns into actually it's really the 3rd or 4th negative point.
Exactly.
And then you're maybe regretting it.
It's not so much the point it loses; it's that it doubles down on a further penalty if you happen to take one.
Yeah, exactly.
You're saying, okay, that if I take bad tiles again, it hurt me a little more.
Yeah. RJ here, by the way, grabbed the single red, which I think is an interesting choice because his dream scoring situation is that he does red, then yellow, then blue. Basically scores that column in order from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And so this is a little bit of a called shot saying, I think there's a chance I'm going to get the 2 yellows. I think there's a chance I'm going to get the 2 blues this turn. Because if he was thinking that he wasn't going to get those, rather than the red tile, he might be interested in grabbing the white tile to go to the top right part of the board. I call this like doing the tree rather than the starburst, where you're sort of branching out away from each other so that you can make the trunk connect and then start filling in from the top or from the bottom, whatever's appropriate in the way that you've structured it.
Right.
So it's a brazen choice on his part. I don't think he's wrong. The other players aren't interested in yellows and aren't interested in blues anymore because they've kind of claimed the ones that they want. Well, I say that and I take it back immediately because look at Joey in row 3 might be interested in putting yellows there. So there's definitely a lot of tension, a lot of pulling parts at this stage.
Yeah. And there's a very clear board right now that Joey has 2 rows filled in, the other 3 all empty. A lot of flexibility, nothing set in there yet. So he's got a little wiggle room,
Right, and that's actually a really good point. I wonder if he can take advantage of this because the other 2 players both have 4 committed rows,
Right.
and there's still a decent chunk of tiles in play.
There's a nice mix of colors. I mean, almost every color is there.
Yeah.
If not every color. So,
Take the 1 black.
yeah. All right, he's filling in that top color, like you said, the black peas, so he starts grouping them
The
up.
reds have got to kiss each other, right? You need to put them together. This actually is doing double duty right now, though, because Eric, who I think is currently our forerunner, he needs 2 blacks in that 4th row there. And Joey just said, oops, tough to be you.
They won't be together, right?
They're not going to happen. It's not going to happen this round. And so we're going to see Eric in this position where that 4th row is going to be the same row from round 1 and 2, and then now going into round 3.
Yeah, and that's the trick about committing to something towards the bottom, that 5 spot, the 4 spot. It really can hamper you. You can pin it to your board and then not complete it.
Absolutely. And Eric's got to be very careful here because there's only that single black and then what he wants to put into the bottom. He knows he wants to put red into the bottom so he can finish that row. And so he's going to maximize grabbing reds here. This is a blessing for RJ, though, because he just shoves stuff into the middle. That's the 2 yellows that we were just talking about RJ looking for. That's the 2 blues that we were just talking about RJ looking for.
Right.
And so now he's got this situation where he might just get everything he wished for.
Well, now we know. Now we know that Eric is going into the next round with 2 rows locked in
Yeah.
and incomplete.
Yeah, good call. And RG grabs the yellows, which I think makes a ton of sense here. Joey also is interested in grabbing those yellows. And he's saying, I don't think you're going to grab the blues because Joey's 3rd row, he's already got the blues there. So for Joey to grab blues, he's kind of would be shooting himself in the foot. He'd be committing to the bottom right corner.
He would, but I wonder if he's not. Again, I'm here to see where he comes down. He might not want him to have it. It's such a powerful move.
Absolutely.
He'll complete literally, every line this round if Joey lets RJ have that.
Yeah, you're very correct. And the real question that Joey has to ask himself here is, do I have something else that's good for me, or should I play a little bit of spoiler right now? Actually, Eric will get to ask the same question because Eric also could just fall in the grenade and take those 2 blues off the table.
Ask a friend.
That's a big penalty if he does do that. And they literally will go nowhere if he has to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
So we have Ronald, who is RJ's dad, who's cheering on RJ in the chat.
That's amazing. I love that.
So that's lovely to see that.
And it's funny, there's some final tables where the players are very chatty. This is not one of them.
Yeah, they're pretty quiet. They're clearly, the concentration level here is tremendously high, of course.
Yeah.
But you're right, there's sometimes a lot of, really jovial feel, and now these guys seem like they're having a good time, but they're quiet and they are focused.
Yeah.
It's going to be a spicy game.
Joey here seems really stuck on that decision, and he's going to go for the block.
Okay, okay.
All right. So he could have chosen to take -2 points, but he says, you know what? No, I will commit to the bottom right corner. And, it's a little tough for him in the sense that it means that he ideally needs to bleed into the bottom right over the course of the rest of this game to take maximum advantage, because you don't want to drop 5 tiles in a row and have it just be 1 point that you never interact with the rest of your board. It's a lot of work to get nothing.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. He did just say, we just heard Joey there say it's going to be a spicy game when he took those blue pieces. He knows exactly what he's doing. He also said, I wish I could phone a friend.
Yeah. Sorry, Joey. Eric says, great, I don't need to be concerned about it now. Happy to take the single red and move on. RJ, unsurprisingly, taking the blue there just to kind of advance forward.
I was talking to Joey a little bit earlier today before this started playing, and he was pretty nervous going into this. So I think he means that when he says, I wish I could phone a friend, I think he means that he was nervous. It was his first table at this caliber going into this, and he'd been chugging water and getting ready and sort of, had been a long day for him, for all these guys.
Yeah, they had to win 3 straight games of Azul to get here.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's really easy to say, like, oh, three games of Azul. Like, I play 3 games in a game night evening. Yeah, but you're kind of playing with a different level of, like, when you're playing casually, like, you get to get up, get some food, and you're playing at your own speed. And there's something about kind of sitting here and locking in that I think it ends up being a little bit more taxing on the body.
Absolutely. Yeah, the level of concentration to not make a mistake, the presence you have to have. It's a different ballgame.
Yeah. Joey here grabbed the single yellow and put it into the 3rd row there. Now, you could say that it's dangerous to commit, but I think this is a commitment he really wants. He knows that he wants to move into the bottom right. He knows that 3rd row yellow is connected to his 2nd row red, his 3rd row blue. So it's right in between there. It's going to move in the direction he wants to. So I think it makes a lot of sense to just say, this is where I'm headed, and go ahead and claim that shot.
Are you
Kind of
sure?
fun choice for Eric here. He chose to take the black over the red. Essentially, he was asking, like, do I think it's more likely I'm going to get 2 reds or 2 blacks next turn?
Right.
And he, I think, said, I think it's more likely that I'm going to get 2 reds next turn. And so he took the single black instead.
3, 4, 5, 6.
I mean, there's also the fact that
7.
he could be asking
9.
a single black
7
is
more.
obviously easier to complete, and it's closer to the center what I'm working on. So there's also that. It's a little bit of a giving up on the last row for now. Try to get that group connected up earlier.
Yeah.
So that's the idea, right? If you're
5.
putting in those 5 pieces for a singular point, that hurts, no matter how you slice it,
Yeah.
-1.
All right, they're counting up their points here after the 2nd round.
All right,
Let's see how they're doing.
RJ pushed up to 9, it looks like.
RJ 9, and then we've got Joey up in the corner. He's at 14, I want to say.
Nice.
And no.
And down to 15.
15. Surge into the lead
So
for
Eric with 15,
which is
RJ
unsurprising
with
because we know
9,
he's doing
and
that sort of
Joey with
central spread out pattern. Those,
Right.
those scores
Starting
tend
round
to start on the higher side. But his scores next turn and the third turn, he's got a square now, and you're going to score maximum points when you have like branches because you can score better going up and over. So his third round score is not necessarily going to be as high as these 2 rounds. So it's going to be a little bit of a tempo slowness for him because he's got this like block.
Gotcha.
It's also worth pointing out that since if RJ had finished that blue, he would have scored 3 for the blue, plus an additional 3 for the white, plus an additional 3 for the black. So he would have scored 9 extra points. And he'll still score points when he plays that blue. Like he'll score 5 points when he plays that blue rather than 3.
Right.
But in total, that's going to be, I think, a 4-point cost. So Joey's blocker play here costs RJ 4 points in the long run of this game.
Yeah.
And an action.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to see at the end if it comes in, which it probably is going to, within a range of about 4 points. You know, Joey's turn on play 2 here may have been a very definitive impact on what this game's going to look like. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to shake out.
What's the usual spread of points for a game at this level?
It's a good question. I think actually that the spread of points becomes like less of an indicator of how well you've done, because what happens is when you're in round 4 and you say, well, I'm behind, then you start making maybe some more aggressive plays, and then if your aggressive plays don't pan out, you lose by even more.
Got it.
And so it's not necessarily the case that they're going to be right there. But I do want to point out that in the first year, the ring winner of Azul won on the second tiebreaker. That was like a WSBG tiebreaker because there weren't enough tiebreakers in the rules
Amazing.
to determine who the winner was. That's how incredibly close it has been.
Wow.
Oh, we see it. Is that a triple black and a triple white? Can't quite tell with the glare, but I think it's a
I
triple
think
black.
it's a triple black and a triple white. Yeah, triple teal or whatever that one's called. Yeah.
Entertainingly, RJ going first doesn't care that much about triple black and triple white because he has the 4th and 5th rows already completed for those.
But it might again give him the advantage when it comes back around to him to once again be first.
Yeah, knowing what his opponents might take along the way. That's a really good call out. And
If that happens again, that's 3 times in a row he gets to be first.
that would be incredible.
That's pretty wild.
That would be incredible. So he claimed, I think he said
2
blacks.
blacks.
2
Yeah,
blacks?
2
Yeah.
blacks. Finishes that line right there. He's working in the corner.
I wonder if this is kind of, I mean, it's a play that sort of moves to the right there. He could have taken the 2 blues to move to the left. So I wonder if he's taking those 2 blacks as a way to kind of stymie Joey a bit, who, you know, as we said before, is interested in moving towards the right.
Right.
I'll take 2 blues.
2 blues here. So 2 triples in play. Both have been ignored by first and second player, and that's because Joey, you know, is committed to this blue
People
line,
watching,
right?
don't-
Like he's
don't do
not
what
going
I'm
to
doing.
finish this 5th row
It's
unless he
spicy
gets processed there. And
Spicy
it's
strategy.
there's a low number of blues in play.
Right. Yeah, they did not come up
Take
very
the
much.
A full whip around, no triples claimed. That's amazing.
When Eric did take first,
Yeah.
so we know it's not going to RJ again.
And he's doing it at a time that's really nice for him, right? Because he's going to probably finish that 4th row, that 5th row. So he's going to have a nearly clear board, which is the ideal spot you want to be in going first.
We were talking about it being a quiet table, but it seems that Joey is
looping
talking
it
to the audience a lot. It seems he just said, "People watching, don't do what I'm doing. It's a spicy game, spicy strategy." So you're getting tips and tricks from him while he's playing.
Directly, yeah, from the mouth of babes or whatever, right?
I feel like Eric needs to finish those 2 bottom rows, stat, get that done, clear them out, start working on something else.
Yeah,
It's been around for quite a while, that red line at the bottom.
oh, RJ is pushing a absolute
See what he did?
pile of
Stabbed
yellows
me in the
into the
heart.
middle here.
Right there.
4 yellows there.
Get some of your spice back in your face.
He says, I'm giving some of your spice
Oh.
back.
You'd think they're playing Dune Imperium the way they're talking about this play.
Right? You know, it's not good point scoring wise, but it is really good action wise for Joey to take these 4 yellows.
I was thinking the same thing. I was going to ask you actually, would you go for those 4? It completes a row, boom, it's done, it's out of the way,
Spread
or are
out,
there
like,
too many
it's-
tiles
like,
left?
it's-
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
only
I think
two.
this is the pressure that RJ is trying to put Joey under. You know, saying like, look, you know, you can take this. This is like a gimme. It's not that many points, so you know, is it really a gimme? But you know, if Joey doesn't take it, then we look over at Eric. And Eric is interested in 3 yellows, and probably would take the 4 yellows with a negative point.
Right.
Guess the crazy guy
And
gets
so
crazier.
it's not great for him to pass that on. If he's going to pass it on, he should put a 5th yellow in there, which is what we see him doing.
Right,
Penalize
now
him a little bit more.
Now it's a little worse.
Yeah. And so, you know, Eric's got to make a tough choice here because, you know, as we talked about, he's got the 1. So now taking 2 penalty chips suddenly starts getting very pricey very quickly.
But he does have to do the math. Now he needs to stop and do this math and see if he would end up with these yellows anyway.
Right.
With
Yeah,
an
they're gonna
extra
fill the
yellow
bomb
thrown
and
in there. So.
But he has other plans. He happily grabs the triple blacks that have been sitting there for a long time, which I think makes sense. It connects directly to his blob there. You know, it pushes him up against the wall on the left side. Ideally, he'd move to the right so he has options going into the 4th round.
Yeah, it will be a singular point, right, when he scores that. There's nothing else going on unless he's able to, say, put 2 teals above that or something like it.
Sure, yeah. It does connect across his middle row there, but you're right that it's awkward up going above, and then he might have to like bleed from the bottom up, which is, you know, the board scores from the top down, so then you have to kind of play your rows backwards. There's definitely an advantage in general for like sliding to the right side of the board rather than sliding to the left side of the board because of the way they kind of score in this way.
Yeah.
So the game sort of like naturally pushes you in that direction. So RJ here could just take 5 yellows, dump them in his bottom row, take a single point that probably won't ever matter for him. But I think he's a lot more interested in making shenanigans happen. So
There's some serious shenanigans going on because there are 2 massive piles of tiles in the center of the table. They're going to somebody. This is a nasty, nasty round. Spicy indeed. Somebody's taking this stuff.
And this is so brilliant for RJ because if he ends up with any of these bombs, he just throws it somewhere he doesn't care about. He's like, it goes in the 5th row. I score 1 point. What do I care?
Exactly.
Whereas Joey and Eric are like, oh no.
Yeah, they're set, you know?
I don't want to mess with this.
I mean, we could still see Joey take the yellows. He could still do that now. I don't think he's got a yellow in that second row from the bottom yet.
Yeah, the yellows would be okay for him.
He could, you know, he's
put
what?
it
That's
in the
1
4th
penalty
row.
tile. That's not terrible.
Yeah, that's not bad. He, though, has to be very cautious, and now he's doing the thing where he counts, if I do this, and Eric does this, and RJ does this, because if Joey ends up with those whites, it is going to nearly put him out of this game, because he can't put it in the 4th row. He already has the whites in the 4th row there.
Right.
He can't put it in the 3rd row. He's committed to the yellows there. So he's going to be forced to put it in the 2nd and 1st row, and just take a lot of negative points.
Right.
You can win with -8, -9 points in this game, but only if everyone else's game is bad or they also take a huge penalty throughout the course of the game. So he's got to be very scared of that. And it's the same for Eric, you know, like he is going to be forced to put it in the row 1 or 2. And so
it definitely looks scarier. It's really the same, but it looks much scarier for Eric because you can see he's committed. You know, it's the same thing really for Joey because the tile's already on the board. He can't put it there.
yeah, I think Joey might be coming to this conclusion, but since there are no blues in play, if Joey pushes that last factory into the middle,
Oof.
there's 4 different colors of tiles, which means Eric, RJ, Joey, Eric. So he can force Eric to claim all the teals by taking that outside factory tile. And I think Joey's sitting there asking, like, if I force him to take that, what's going to happen to me?
Right.
You know, is RJ going to force me to take the yellows, which are not so horrible for me? And I think RJ probably just came to this faster than all three of us did. Both Joey and Eric, or all four of us, both Joey, Eric, you, and myself, because I think he saw these shenanigans shaping up.
Well, we can see him counting there on the edge of the camera. He's doing his counting, he's trying to figure this out. I don't know. I think if it was me, and it's Joey's turn right now, right?
Yes.
I think if it was me, I'd take those yellows and run. but I haven't done the math. I also don't know, nor can I play at this level.
One thing that he could do is he could take the yellow from the factory and put it into the first row. Because
it looks like he took that yellow, and he is in fact putting it in the first row.
Yeah, 'cause he's
amazing,
okay.
Paul.
Yeah.
You should play this game. You'd be good at this.
I'd be okay at it, yeah.
Sweet.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness. You can really, again, the tension here is palpable, folks. You can feel it. There's some big moves on the table, some painful moves.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to take them.
The other thing to, I guess, point out about that last decision is that if Joey had punted the decision over to Eric, if he had taken something from the middle instead, then Eric would have the power to force RJ to take the last, pot of tiles, and almost certainly would have done that to prevent himself from getting as many negative points as possible, which is the situation he finds himself in right now. And so, Joey had to ask himself the question of, like, am I more scared of Eric or am I more scared of RJ right now? And I think he basically very clearly said here, I'm more scared of Eric. And Eric's going to be stuck here with 7 whites, which is going to go, he's going to go all the way to the maximum negative points of the board. I guess he's placing 2 of the whites, so he's only going to put 5 in the bonus row. And the 2 whites are good, but yeah, woof.
That's a lot. That's a big penalty.
And the other thing is that right now, he's also taking a penalty tile in this very moment, because he has to take 2 blacks or 2 reds or something like that. And they don't fit anywhere.
Right.
Because he's jammed up his board a little bit too much from that commitment to the 4th row, commitment to the 5th row.
That's it, right? Going into the next round, not knowing what the flop is going to be yet with a committed row, that hurts.
That hurts a lot. So he says, I'm going to clean up this 4th row here. I need to move my way down the board, which makes a lot of sense. I think I would make the same choice. The only thing I'll point out is that he has missed the opportunity to score in the top row this turn. And because, scoring is equivalent for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and 4th, and 5th rows, right? There's no row is any better than the other, except for where it is related to anything else. And so missing out on the easy 1 and missing out on the, he won't miss out on the easy 2, but missing out on the easy 1, it hurts.
Absolutely, right.
But he said, rather than I'm fine to miss out on the easy 1 because I need to clean up my messy board. I know I'm going first next turn, and I can't go first next turn with 3 blacks in play, 4 reds in play, and be put in this exact same situation again.
Exactly.
RJ says, you know what, I'm not interested in Joey getting these 4 yellows to put into his 4th row, so I'm going to go ahead and take them just for a single point, dump them in the bottom here. It's not that bad for me.
And no penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
No clear. It'll be out of the way.
Yep. And he sees that those 2 reds are not terribly good for Joey, right? Like, either Joey takes them as penalties or he puts them in the 4th row, which is on the complete opposite side of the board that he wants to play.
Or he's taking them as penalty points.
Which I think makes sense. Just the 2 points there is good. This round, honestly, was an absolute masterclass by RJ. Like, this is how you play this game aggressively. There's not a lot of opportunities for that to come up, but oh my god, he played this round just so wonderfully. Positioning the other players in really dangerous places, seeing how jammed up Eric was, seeing how, Joey also has a relatively sparse looking board right now, but is jammed up in terms of what colors he could take and where things were. And he seemed to just see that line so early and managed to force them into those positions. And he hasn't even really slowed down his board. He's finished the things he's wanted. He has 1, 2, and 3 of what he wants.
He's going to the next That's drawn with a completely clean board.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Shit, hate to see it.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
That's -4 for the round.
I think it was minus 14 is I think what we just heard him count. Is that right?
That's what I said.
Oof. Yeah, so I mean, he started the round. I think he had 9 points at the start of the round.
Or no, 3.
He
Plus
had
5.
15 at the
Plus
start.
he had
Because
15,
he was
okay.
leading. Just barely.
Until 12.
So -4 for the entire round is basically what it was. He lost 4 points this whole round.
Yeah.
Not a good round for either.
I'm not.
Archie says, not a good round for you.
4, 5, 6,
That's savage.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
But then I think he said 12 points, but he hasn't moved his score
That's 3
marker.
points.
Fortunately, we have our judge keeping track.
1 little point. And -2. 2.
Just a couple points for Joey. Well, at the end of the second turn, I said I thought Eric was leading.
You were
And
at
I
21.
think RJ has just completely
it's RJ.
So
ship around.
Eric is
Yeah.
at 13, RJ is at 21, and Joey is at 16. Starting round 4.
Joey 16, RJ 21.
And first, so
And then in terms of like points unrealized from the score, right?
Right.
RJ's got the column. Eric nearly has a column.
Yeah, no, it really
And,
is. No,
and
it's
Joey
it's- no, I
doesn't
work
quite have a
in
column really set
UPS,
up
so
yet. And so,
do a lot of.
you know, right now it looks like
I can
RJ's
do
gonna
it,
play
I'm
a couple
just like-
points, but really you should add another 7 to the score.
Yeah.
Unless you dump the box.
Well, there's also the potential for scoring looking at their groupings, right?
Right.
Based on how well you're doing with that grouping and how many sort of deviant pieces you've got in corners that don't line up with anything, it's going to affect
I've been
that.
getting a lot of
Absolutely, yeah,
cramps
that's
lately
amazing
because
to
of
call out because
the desert weather.
It's a little tough to tell, and my memory is getting a little rusty. But I
just
think
don't go
Archie's
outside.
looking at one, ideally a teal, 2 blues, 3 yellows, question mark. Maybe even 3 teals would be okay for him.
Yeah.
Finish it.
All right, we got a bag reset there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You do a lot of tracking of pieces that have come out.
I don't. The
statistically.
players who are a little bit better than me, they do. But
So bag reset sort of throws all of that out the window, right? I mean,
But they might have looked and seen, like, you know, coming out these, whatever, 13, 14 tiles or whatever it was that came out before, the players who were a little bit better than me would have known, oh, there's a little bit extra red in the bag there, because it's coming at the end, that means there's fewer reds being reshuffled into the bag, the reds are going to be a little bit more tension between now and the end of the game. So that's, I'll come to that realization now in round 4, but some people will know even later.
all right, 4th round. Let's see, do we have any triple
reds, I
triplets
think?
of that?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that might be triple reds there near the top, but that's it. Those are the only triples out there.
Yeah.
A lot of pairs, lots of pairs. Almost every factory has a pair.
Oh, yeah.
And they're predominantly, like largely so, yellows and blues.
Yeah. Those yellows are good for, Joey's really interested in a pair of yellows, so I think that's something he's got his eye on. Eric very quickly picks up those triple reds, seeing that they kind of connect onto the left side of the board there that he's already started building out.
Yeah. Now that's an interesting move. That's a risky move in my opinion. It seems like now he's going to need 2 single reds. Again,
Old man at
in that
almost
position
40,
of,
take my
well,
medic-
this is
5
sort of a
medications.
dangling, you know, opportunity here that might or might not pan out.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely correct on this, and the other players have shown that this is an aggressive game.
Yeah.
That they're going to play with an
We need to
aggressive
hurry up.
Willing
mindset.
to,
AI
right? They're willing
robotics.
to be aggressive.
Yeah, and so that means that they
Those
maybe shove
packages.
more reds into the middle than you would normally expect. So if Eric knows that, it means that he's kind of forcing himself to take reds rather than good opportunistic plays early.
Well, and if they're all
me
grouped
just
up,
stay
he's
home
going
and
to
play
take
on Board Game
reds,
Arena
take a
and
couple
collect
penalty pieces,
Universal Basic
and still
Income,
only
please.
complete one of the rows.
Exactly. the other thing is that he's got his white, blue, and yellow in the second row, so he actually really needs 2 reds in the second row as well.
Yeah.
I actually wonder if Eric should have taken those 3, thrown one of them straight into the negative, and continued across the second row there. Because otherwise he's basically saying, look, I'm not going to be able to kind of complete the rows across to end this game.
Right. Yeah, it's a tempo thing, right? I mean, he would be pushing the tempo of the game a little bit by doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there goes 1 red into the middle. Thankfully, he will get, because of the player count, only 3 players, he will be able to scoop up 1 red for sure uncontested.
Exactly.
From a factory floor still. Which I assume will be his next move.
Yeah. I could see Joey here doing exactly what we're talking about, pushing another red into the middle and taking 2 yellows to finish out his 3rd row there. So it's entirely plausible. I think actually if that's the case, Eric should take the 2 reds and put them in the second row, and then commit to finishing either row 4 or row 5, knowing that he'll then finish the other one next to him.
And he'll be first if he does that.
Yes, right? Exactly. So more flexibility. If he does, by the way, only complete one of row 4 or row 5 this turn, he should complete row 5. Reason is that his row 4, that red there, ideally then stacks on top of yellows at the end. If he somehow finds 5 yellows in the last turn, or the 5th turn, which is often the last turn, then he can actually kind of score a double column, which is the ideal. So he really should make sure to finish his current column, rather than prioritizing the 4th row.
All right, we've got, I think it's Joey to make a move here.
Yeah. He is not as necessarily enthusiastic. He doesn't pick up the double yellows that we were talking about. I think that the double blues are also good for him because he can take the 2 blues in the 2 slot. I think also works out pretty nicely.
Yeah, that's some good grouping there, yeah. And like you said, it's interesting. Again, you want to complete that 1 row, 2 row. They're the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Any round goes by, you didn't score those. Those were the easy ones to achieve, ideally, right? They score you the same thing as committing 5.
Yeah, actually, the irony is as the game goes on, they maybe even score you more because they have more friends with them, right?
Yeah,
Whereas that 5th row is never going to have, 5 rows across.
All right, so he is indeed going for that. The 2 blues, second row, good call.
So he maybe thinks that he's got some extra time on the yellows, thinking that has an opportunity to he's prioritizing yellows over blues, which might be a response to the fact that RJ also is probably interested in taking 2 blues, putting them in that second slot for the second row there.
Yeah. Well, Eric went for the red in the middle.
Yep.
And took first.
Yep. RJ went for exactly what he saw that the doors on blues are closing, and so he said, I want to get these so I can, because RJ wants to end the game right now that he's in the lead. He wants to make sure he's marching all the way across the board. He finishes the 1st row, the 2nd row, ends the game. If he can accomplish that without any shenanigans happening between now and the end of the game, he's probably going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to set the pace for sure. And again, if you are out front, then you want to close the door.
Yeah. We're getting into another situation where we've got 3 blacks in the middle and kind of no player that wants to take it. So, because Joey, I guess, could look to putting them in the fifth row, and then kind of complete that column there. So I said no one wants it, then he immediately took it. So.
Yeah. Well, there you go. He's really slow playing those yellows, though. I do wonder if he maybe went 1 round too long.
Could be a little bit too greedy.
Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't have taken them now.
Yeah.
Because the blacks, like you said, nobody else really wants them. He might have he could have maybe let those blacks go 1 more.
Yeah.
Maybe even gotten another one in the middle and made a play for 4 of them.
I think you're spot on here because we know that Eric is going to grab this red, which he just did.
Of course.
Now we see 3 yellows in the middle, and we know what RJ plays like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
not taking
expecting
one
to
penalty
see
yellow.
these 2 yellows. They're going to come in.
Yeah. He might make a play for the top row here with the teal, maybe.
Yeah.
Just to close it.
Yeah,
And
why
then-
not, right?
and then
Push all the
throw in
yellows
some
the
yellows,
middle,
right.
And then make Joey very, very sad boy. think he's just asking himself if this is too dangerous to do first, making sure that, because, the other thing that is true about this is that RJ will not finish in his third row if he plays aggressively.
Right.
And so he says, I choose the path of peace, relative peace instead, making sure that he's going to score his most points possible.
Which is smart, right? You have to pivot. There's a time for making sure somebody else has to make a bad play, which is the equivalent of you making a good play. But there's sometimes you need to get the points for yourself.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on. I mean, we just saw it play out, but like your call on Joey not claiming those yellows, I think we've seen immediately come to fruition.
I think so. Now it takes him another turn just to get more black across the bottom.
Yeah.
I wonder if reversing those two plays wouldn't have netted him more tiles and one fewer penalty tile.
Yeah. Because it still would have been true that there's a pressure for RJ to claim the yellows for himself,
Right.
That still remains a reality. So,
Well, and he knew what Eric was going to do. He was going to take a red, right? I mean, he really wants those two rows clear.
absolutely. I could see Eric just grabbing a single black here, kind of marching across the top. That seems pretty reasonable to me.
Now, would he take the one in the middle, or should he take the one on the factory floor?
It's a good question. So I guess the danger is that if he takes the one on the factory floor, he puts 5 white teals into the bottom.
Yeah.
So can RJ use 5 white teals? And the answer is sort of.
It certainly won't hurt him,
Yeah.
He could put him out there, finalize that. He'll get some points out of that. It is not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
think
might.
he probably would take them. So that means that Eric should take the black one from the middle, such as not right. So kind of claim that.
Yeah, I think so. Make him work for it.
Yeah, I think so.
We can see that Eric's watch is taking his blood pressure there, which I assume is high. Telling him to go see a doctor. Snap. You're under a lot of stress and pressure.
One of the players in the Earth Ring game last year, he said that at the end of the game, his watch told him that he burned like 200 calories just. Oh, so he decides to actually go for it. He's going to press everything into the middle here.
That's a pretty sweet move, I think, for RJ. It puts him in a great position.
Yeah.
There's no real drawback here. I mean, he won't complete his first row.
Yeah.
But there's nothing there that helps with that.
I wonder if that's exactly what Eric was looking at, right? As he said, you know what, I'm going to put these, yes, RJ can claim these 5, but now he can't complete that first row because he doesn't have the blue, he doesn't have the white or the teal, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to keep switching between them.
Right.
It's too expensive to put 4 in the penalty box.
No,
that's
right.
just too many negative points.
Especially with an open row right there. They can take them all, score you some points, clear out.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the single red does anything for him. I guess you could argue that RJ has some marginal use for the 2 blacks, but I think the debate right now is just what he's doing with those 5 whites.
Yeah, I was wondering there why it was taking him so long to make that decision, to be fair, because that's anything but this move is incredibly aggressive to the other players.
Yeah. I think he was just trying to see, in the long run, if he finished the top row, does it score him more points than just dumping these in the bottom here? And I think he just came to the answer.
Right.
I was
Just doing that math.
I was nervous. He was nervous. I was
And we
nervous.
see Eric here does in fact start
If I
the
had
reds
a
there.
lead,
In
I
fact,
would be a lot more worried.
He was the only player who took reds this turn, and he still didn't get to do what he wanted to do. That was kind of part of the problem with the claiming the triple reds in the way that he did there. Now, on the other hand, if he manages to he can get the diagonal very, very plausibly next turn, right? He only needs 1 red there and then 3 reds in the right, so that could be some sneaky scoring to pull off.
Sure.
But like we said, because of the way the deck or the bag reshuffled, there's probably fewer reds in that bag than we think.
Absolutely. There's a lot of red out. Yeah. He finally cleared that bottom line that has been there
That's
for a
haunted him.
while. Yeah.
And I don't think any round can be as exciting as round 3 was in this game. this was, I think, a much more fundamental round in terms of what was happening. I think
Also 5 points.
there wasn't anything really wild that happened for
Huge
any of the
win
players. I
streaks.
think
That one
each of
is
them
also
got
5
a couple
points.
points here and there,
Number
advanced along the
3.
ways. Like no one had really
And then
like
-1.
an incredible turn that I would have said, oh my god, that they really kind of pulled it off.
All right.
But
Eric, 29. RJ has
Joey
33.
Joey
and
did
Joey
finish a
has 30.
column there, I think, in the third.
And Eric is starting the
third
next
column, I
round.
think, is now finished for him, which is pretty nice. So I think that was why he had that sort of tunnel vision on those
Sorry.
triple blacks rather
Yeah.
than the 2 yellows.
Yeah.
He saw the column, he wanted to have the opportunity.
And going into this round, possibly the final round, like you were saying, with
then I'll never play
a
with you guys ever
clear
again. I don't
board
think
also.
I'll stop playing Azul for
That's pretty good.
like 3 months.
Yeah,
at
in
least.
fact, everyone except
break.
for Eric has a clear board going
If
to
I
the
win,
final
I might
round.
never
too.
play again, because how could you top this?
All right, while they're doing this reset, folks, why don't we go ahead and take a look at a little ad we've got here for WSBG.
What's up, board gamers? Now you can compete in the World Series of Board Gaming from the comfort of your own home. Introducing Board Game Arena official tournaments, where you can win your way to WSBG 2026. Head on over to BoardGameArena.com and sign up for one of our free tournaments for a taste of the action. Plus, join the official WSBG group so you can be notified anytime a new tournament drops. There's no better way to practice for the main event. And hey, you want to lock in your 2026 spot at the best possible deal? Well, head on over to WSBGVegas.com and use the code EARLYBIRD at checkout for an exclusive limited time offer. Don't just watch the action. Come be a part of it. Your journey starts now. Visit WSBGVegas.com for more details.
All right.
He won 4
All right, everybody, welcome back.
satellites. He won all 4.
Into round
Yeah,
4.
he's definitely gonna play.
We're still setting up the board here. Let's see if we've got any particularly juicy looking plays. And everybody at this
Second,
point,
like 4 whites.
well, especially I should say, RJ is looking
like
to finish
And then-
some rows here.
Yeah.
Close the door on this game, right? He is doing very, very well.
What's really thrilling right now, actually, is that all the players' scores are like right in line
Very
with
close.
each other.
Yeah, they're very close.
Yeah, they're right on top. It's that I think it's like 33, 30, 29. We know that I think all of them have one column completed right now. There's no diagonals as far as I can tell, so they're really
For me
looking
to
to kind
ask
of
for
realize,
4 and then not
maximal row points right now, which I think RJ is in the best position to take advantage of. But it's usually a foregone conclusion that this game ends in 5 rounds, but actually this might be a game that does wind up going to 6 if the players can block each other from ending the game. It's entirely plausible.
Well, there's also the idea that if it did tighten up again, he might not want to end it, right?
Yeah. That's absolutely true. We get a quick triple white grab from Eric here, who thinks that putting in the 4th slot there makes a lot of sense, and it's a block for RJ, who really wants the triple whites, right, or even the double whites.
2 whites.
And there is a ton of white out there, so theoretically he could get them all.
Yes, if he gets them kind
Get
of
all,
one
he
at a
could
time
get
or
a
whatever.
set of them.
But we're seeing a run on them right now.
They are,
grab of a triple, grab of a double. Like they're really pressing, and because every single player in play has not grabbed that many whites before, they've been getting dropped to the 4th and 5th columns. We haven't seen the players with the 1st and 2nd. All of a sudden, we're seeing an absolute war zone over.
Well, they've all
just
got
whites.
it. It's empty on everyone's board in the first row.
Yeah.
So this is all-out war here now.
Yeah, because every single one of them is minimum, 4, 5, maybe 7 points to grab. Actually, some of them are upwards of 9, because if you finish the row and you connect something in a column with it and you get 2 points for scoring the row, a single white tile could be doing all of that.
It looks to me like RJ has it, the white already on the bottom row and the one above that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 5th
So
and
he's
4th.
also very close to getting that color completed.
Yeah.
If he gets it on the first row, he's already got it in the 2nd now, he just did it, and then the 3rd, that'll do it. I don't think it's going to happen. Like you said, there's too much of a fight for it.
Yeah. Joey here grabbing the 2 blues. He sees that he really needs to get the 4 blues in that bottom right bucket there. It'll give him a chance at the diagonal. It'll also score him a lot of points when he places it, because he's got the kind of column built down to there and then kind of across as well. So he sees that there's sort of a dearth of blues in play and says, you know what, I'll take first player, which actually is bad in the 5th turn usually, because you don't have a 6th round a lot of the time. And then it is just the negative points. and he's willing to take it and take those 2 points. Now, if we do go to a 6th turn, that will be probably one of the greatest plays of the game. So I love to see if there's some way that the players can box out and prevent a game end here. Eric absolutely playing for the long term by picking up those blacks.
Yeah, he's expecting this game to go one more round with a move like that.
Something like that, yeah. Or he's saying, you know what, I'll complete the columns and maybe just kind of hope that that's enough, right? Because he's not well built out across the side of the board, so he realizes that his priorities are top to bottom.
Yeah, yeah. That's what, 7 points for one of those?
Yeah. And the points that he gets just for
Of
right,
course.
he plays it there. It could be 5, 6, 7. So it could be a 14-point thing to finish that 5th round. He has to also finish the teals, but yeah.
That's going to be a little bit easier. Hopefully, he might take a penalty or two for that. But
Yeah. Oh, I was actually rambling about them putting the game on longer, but I'm realizing that RJ grabbing those 2 whites means that we are done. We are in the end game here.
that's right. That second row is done.
I forgot that that black one actually is a black tile. This is kind of his board has like a fun matte color thing going on. I can't quite tell which are tiles and which are the board, which is why Eric's board is my favorite, because I can definitely tell there. So yeah, RJ, knowing that he's going to the end of the game here, he needs to grab a blue or a teal, you know, to put into the first row. And so he's just asking himself, where do I get my other points this turn?
Yeah.
There probably aren't enough reds in play for me to do the 3rd row. There probably aren't enough teals in me to do the 3rd row. So he's now looking, is there anything I could do in the 4th and 5th rows to score points?
Well, now comes that sort of, I want to complete the first row and the second row because they're easier. I don't want to complete them too early, or I commit to possibly taking a bunch of penalties because every other row is started or has a color I can't put in there.
Yep.
And so that's it. That final round has this sort of push and pull with yourself of, I want the flexibility so I don't take penalties, but I don't want to wait too long and there's nothing to put in that low-hanging fruit row.
Yep, absolutely. I think RJ's probably asking himself, how can I end this game as fast as possible?
Sure.
I think his scoring potential at this stage is lower than the other players. So I think we're going to see him pushing factories into the middle a lot over the course of this turn.
Yeah. He just took a penalty point to do
Take the 2 blues.
take
That's
that blue, yeah.
That is a very aggressive play. He took a negative point rather than taking the factory to the side there or the blue from the middle to prevent Joey from easily grabbing 2 blues. And he's starving the board of blues. He's essentially in one fell swoop said, Joey, you are not completing the diagonal this turn.
Right.
If you want to complete the 4th row, you can. If you want to complete the 1st row, you can. But you're not doing both of them.
Yeah. That was a very aggressive move there,
Yeah, and so he basically said, I will shoot myself for a point in order to slow Joey's game down, which Eric's the happiest person to see that choice at that table.
Sure.
Right? And actually, now that I'm looking at it a little bit more, I really like that Eric has realized he's going top to bottom. He saw that he couldn't get 5 yellows, but he might plausibly get 5 blacks. He might plausibly get 4 teals, and he's not as good as advancing across the rows. He won't finish his rows because of the foibles from the earlier turns. And so this pivot into a top-down strategy, I think, is really insightful by Eric to try to maximize his score, seeing that this game's coming to a close.
Right.
Looks like Joey did make a grab there of the 2 blacks, seeing that it's hard for him to grab the 2 teals, which again puts pressure on Eric. So we're seeing a lot of these players punching each other going into this round.
Oh, wow, okay, he's taking those 2 blacks.
He knows he needs to finish that column in order to win the game. I mean, it lends itself to a very interesting question right now, whether RJ just takes that last black off the board. Right? He pushes those other
Put
tiles
it somewhere, forget about it, right.
Yeah, I mean, RJ has almost no scoring potential left. His scoring potential is just end the game so that other people can't catch me.
Right.
He is stumbling across the finish line, right? Like with a completely respectable turn with these, finishing or the blue there plus the teal. It's going to score well, but he's not going to score as much as the other players, and he's just hoping that the advantage that he has is going to keep him in the lead, which I think is correct. So.
Yeah, they've all had amazing turns at one point or another, but you're right. I think you're right that he is sort of the stamina is running out on him here, for lack of a better term, when it comes to what can I do that will potentially score me a bucket of points?
Yeah. Here's the other thing that's really interesting is I'm talking about him using that black to block Eric on his right if he's concerned about him. But if he does that, he puts triple white into the middle, which Joey will happily snap up and put into his third row because that's actually a pretty good scoring spot for him. He's done the tree branches around it. He's sort of surrounded that spot. And so, does he block one player to assist another? That doesn't feel terribly good.
Right. Who does he perceive as a bigger threat? There's also that.
I think one of the, I'll say like, you could say it's good or bad. Like, I think it just is. But one of the realities of Azul is that you could look around right now, and I bet these players all count each other's boards. They know exactly what their score is, and if they get this tile, what their score looks like. And so RJ has to now juggle this decision in his head of, if I take this and he does this, how many points will he have? Will he beat me? Okay, no, I can't do that. So he's going through these like forking processes because at this stage everything is so calculable, which is I think very interesting from a competitive perspective, but I think can be quite taxing if you're playing in your home game or something like that.
Oh, absolutely. And again, these guys are doing this for the 4th time today.
Yeah.
Playing at this level with competitors just as good. I mean, so there is that too.
Yeah, and
They're feeling it.
I haven't calculated from every player's perspective, but I've definitely seen games where a player does that calculation and he says, "Oh, I lose no matter what." And in
No,
fact,
it's
I
a
kind of
lot
get to
to-
choose who wins. Like you wouldn't think that Azul's a king-making game, but actually at this level of play, it can turn into a king-making game. Not every game, but every once in a while, I'd say like 1 out of every 5 or 6 games, you just look and you're like, oh, I kind of get to determine who's in charge right now.
That's a lot of power, yeah. It feels not good to have that kind of power, but yeah. I mean, it's another level of play. He's still thinking about it too. I mean, he is going through the math, I'm sure, trying to work this out.
I think he's looking at every fork here and who gets what. Yeah, I mean, I guess actually at this stage, I'm noticing it is plausible for him to get 3 reds into the 3rd row. So he could be saying, look, maybe I just don't play aggressive at all. Maybe I don't take these blacks. I don't mess with these teals. I let that be a Joey problem. I let that be an Eric problem.
Right.
And I think I'm ahead. So I'll just take the 2 reds in the middle right now.
Play for me, don't king make, like you said. Maybe that's it. Maybe, again, obviously, I'm certainly not doing the math. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's looking and going, well, I kind of decide between these 2 guys. I'll play for me.
Yeah. Eric's real problem here is that he's got 3 rows unrealized. Like if the round ended right now, Eric has nothing. And he's had this like hanging Chad problem all game long, right? It's really kind of, I mean, he had in the first 2 turns, he had the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but ever since that point, it's just, he's had the board be a lot more awkward.
Yeah, the rounds are ending at a weird point for him every time a little bit. Last round, not so much, but the other 2 rounds before that, he sort of gets caught mid-step.
Yep. And I think, honestly, that's a reflection of RJ going first in those rounds. Right? Being last means that you're stuck with the last bag of things.
Right.
To me, this amount of calculation from RJ at this stage tells me that he does not see a line to win. Right? If there was a clear line, he would have taken it, I think, by this stage. And so now he has to make sure he's not even playing how can I win. He's playing how can the other players not win at this stage because of the fact that his board is sort of out of gas. And he's realizing if X then Y then Z, okay, not that. And there's enough tiles in play right now that it is very complicated to make this calculation. All right, so he colors up a lot of things in the middle here. I think this is probably going to go in his 3rd row there. Yeah, just it can't go into 4th and the 5th row. So this feels like it's something of a spoiler play. It's got some.
I mean, he will not finish it. That row is dead for him because I can't see Eric letting those 2 go.
Yeah, that seems very dangerous for Eric to pass those on. Yeah.
Maybe the gamble here is that Eric will take the one sitting on the factory instead of the floor, and then there will be 2 left. Maybe that's the long shot here. But then Eric would have to be playing very non-aggressively as well.
Yep.
And of course that factory still be there.
You know, I think I actually really like where this has put Joey's game. If Joey grabs the single white from the factory right now, pushes everything into the middle, right, and says, we're going to the end of the game, boys, then Eric looks at his board and says, well, crap, I'm out of actions. I need to finish my rows. And so I mean, Eric's best pickup is the other whites. I don't know that he will, but probably, because otherwise he gives it to RJ, which seems bad.
Which is not a good idea,
Yeah,
right?
long turn.
And
no,
then,
and just like
there's going to be 2 blues in the middle, which Joey wants. And so RJ is probably just going to defensively take to prevent him. And so it kind of just pushes us towards the end of the game, right? So if Joey does this, it's like he takes white, Eric will take 2 whites, RJ will take the 2 blues just to prevent Joey from getting them, and that means that Joey is going to end with those 3 reds, which he'll just throw off to the side there, which scores him a couple points.
Right, right.
So I think that's the line for Joey right now. I haven't really considered other options, but the reason I rushed to this so quickly is that when you're in this spot where there's one factory on the outside, you get to dictate the tempo for the rest of the game.
Right.
And maybe he sees something else, but I think that having the power of saying, we're going to have these options, you're going to take this, you're going to take this, you're going to take this.
Yeah, at this point it becomes an I split, you choose game,
Yeah, that's a good call out.
which was the original name of the game.
Was it really?
Actually, they considered a Darth of Blues, which said that was great. And then I split you Azul.
I split you Azul.
That was definitely not what the name was.
Okay, he does not want to be in the controlling position. He does take the teal that we talked about, but he takes the defensive teal instead.
Yeah, not combining the groups. Okay, here we go.
But they're forced combined here anyway. And
Finishing that line.
yeah. So I think still RJ here takes the 2 blues, and I think actually this is the exact same result than if Joey had taken that teal a moment ago.
now we're in a math situation.
If Joey loses by 1 point, I will never let him live it down. It's very cruel of me, but I think that might have been a 1 point shot that he just took right there.
And I am too tired to think. I cannot calculate.
We're talking about being too tired to think and calculate. Yeah, they're not in enviable positions right now. Certainly feeling the day's struggles here with these games. You can tell, I mean, even just as a casual viewer, you can tell the amount of calculation going into every move they make. And after you made that move, you got to live with it. So if you miscalculate something for a couple of points, that's all it takes, right? I mean,
And we can at least calculate, I haven't calculated what their scores will be at the end of this turn, but we can at least calculate what these points are for Joey. So if he gets the 2 blues, it looks like he's going to score 4, 5, 6 points. If he gets the 3 yellows, he'll score nothing, so he won't take those. If he gets the 3 reds, I believe he'll score 3 points. So RJ gets to choose now, does Joey get 6 or 3 points, which seems like an obvious choice. However, if he does that, then we leave the yellows to Eric, and yellows for Eric will score 4 points. And so now he has to say, well, okay, if I just let Joey take 6 points, do I prevent Eric from taking 4 points? This is the dance he's doing.
right.
If Eric ends up with the reds, he puts them in the second row right there, which is worth 4 points, but also minus 2 points. And, he gets 4 or 2. And so that's why they're too tired to do these calculations. They're juggling +3, -2.
There's also a black tile we're not accounting for. We just can't quite see it. So there's a black tile right there, just below the 2 blues. So that actually throws off your math.
Absolutely throws off the math. Thank you for calling that out.
You know what I would do right now? What I would do, I think, is if I made it to this point, flip the table. And I think run. I mean, I think so. I would run.
Okay, so with the extra black there, I think this changes nothing for Joey. Joey's interested in the blues or the reds. Those are the only things that score him points at this stage. The yellows don't score him points. I think the single black doesn't score him anything. Eric's in the hilarious position of the black scores him 4 points. The red scores him 4 points, but also -2. The yellow scores him 4 points. And I lied actually about Eric because the black he puts in the 5th row, not the first row.
Oh, yeah.
And so it scores him 1 gazillion points instead of what I said. So they cannot let Eric take the black.
You defend off.
Right.
I'm gonna need a drink after this. Do you guys want to get a drink? I'm serious. I haven't drunk alcohol in forever, but I really want to right now.
Don't do it, Joey.
Oh boy. Azul, the game that drove the players to drinking. Whose turn is it right now?
It's RJ's. Yeah, he's mulling over this pretty tough choice.
It does seem like he keeps getting really nasty moments to debate.
Yeah.
Over and over. This game's putting him through the grinder a little bit.
I wonder if RJ's asking the question, can I pass the buck to Joey? Like, if I take something, will Joey take the black? Will he fall in the grenade so that Eric doesn't take it? And the only way that the answer to that question is yes, is if it for sure makes Joey win by giving Eric the black, or not letting Eric take the black, then sure, he'll do that. But I think the answer is probably no, without having counted the points. And so RJ's realizing if I pass the buck to Joey, and he counts the black right here, he might just be passing the king-making decision that we talked about before.
Which is valid, right? I mean, maybe he is thinking, hey, maybe you're thinking more clearly than I am right now. You make this call.
Yeah.
You do the math.
Well, but if RJ passes the buck and says, and again, I haven't counted it, but if it is the situation where then Joey gets to choose who wins, whether he passes this black or not, he might say, well, RJ, you just screwed me out of points because you took the things I wanted.
Right.
So
you're not it.
So you're not it. And that's a really big danger that he's coming across right now. So he's looking at the board, but he might be looking into Joey's soul. See if I can roughly suss out who's winning since we've got some extra time here.
Yeah, the thinking on this is really drawing out, which again I do not blame them for. Oh.
Okay, you've got it. RJ said, I will keep my fate in my hands. Eric there, we see that the deep breath, he knows that's the doom moment for him.
Something.
He's debating what to do with it. He's holding it.
He picked it up, and I think actually by tournament rules it means that he is committed.
So is he playing it as a penalty or putting it somewhere in is that 4th row? I think doesn't have one.
I don't see any reason why he wouldn't put it in the 4th row. I think every color in play fits into his 5th row. So whether he puts it into the 4th row or I think he just hit himself for a point here because all of those could. Oh no, the yellows. I lied. He's got the yellows in the bottom left. He's worried that he's going to be stuck with the 3 yellows. So he takes the 1 penalty point for the black so that he doesn't take 3 penalty tiles for the yellows.
Right.
Okay, I'm seeing it now. RJ's board on stealth mode.
So what do you think? Gut feeling here, who seems to be ahead to you?
The fact that RJ spent so long thinking about it, I feel like it can't be him. I think that he's landed on that. I think that since he thought about it for so long, I think we might see Joey just stumble out on top here, which would be pretty incredible.
Similar dream.
But my gut did not say Joey. My gut said that it was still RJ winning this round.
Yeah.
So I'm really more reacting to the player's behavior than actually the count of points.
Sure.
But I think none of them have diagonals. I think all 3 of them have 1 column.
I guess.
Since Eric's column got blocked here.
Yeah. I was talking to Joey before, and he mentioned that he had won 14 tournaments on BGA of Azul.
Amazing.
Played over 1,000 games, which is actually not that crazy of a number around here for plays on BGA.
Yeah, sure.
But winning 14 tournaments of Azul on BGA with the people that enter those tournaments on BGA, that's impressive.
That's a lot of work. I don't know why he'd be so nervous if he's already won 14 tournaments. Like, what's the 15th, you know?
I agree. Yeah.
There's definitely something about sitting down and looking at your opponent across the table that makes it completely different.
My eyes
So
are
I think it'll be
deceiving
really
me. I thought you had
interesting,
the
this
red
like
color
partnership that
down, but
WSBG has with Board Game Arena.
Okay.
Like I hope that we see an influx of PGA players kind of coming to this event and getting to like sort of expand what that circle looks like and learning. I mean, there's just like a joy and a difference of like playing with your opponents across the table. You know, obviously there's more tension, there's more exhaustion that happens there, but also like the camaraderie amongst players is really high.
And meeting those people in person that you've played with, right? I mean, it's like, oh, you're so and so.
Yeah.
I've played with you,
don't have
man.
to
Yeah,
say
you're great.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, obviously we have name badges for the convention, but there's a lot of players out there right now. You see, have a ripped sheet of paper that has like their Discord name on it that they shoved in there as well for people that have like seen each
reflecting on
other
the entire
online.
game.
All the time. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
Flashing before.
There's some laughter going on here. They're loosening up a little bit because they know this is winding down.
I think Joey's just ensuring that he doesn't make a mistake here, but I think the two blues, there's nothing, there's no other decision for him, because the yellows and the reds are functionally very similar for Eric, and so, you know, Eric's going to take the yellows rather than the reds, but it doesn't matter what gets passed to RJ ultimately, because he played that black tile defensively by putting the -1. So I think Joey was just double checking, but the two blues certainly was the case there. Yeah, Joey was mentioning that he has to make sure he's calculating, wasn't counting a point off. So I think we're going to see, you know, you asked me earlier about how close the games are. I think we're going to see a game where top to bottom, plus minus 5 points.
I'll be nice and say, I'm getting no more points.
I think it's going to be incredibly close.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And yeah, playing like this with a camera on you the whole time and players analyzing the game, I think that's part of the fear as well.
Yeah.
It's that fear of, did I made a mistake on camera in front of everybody? I'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
With every other player going,
Oh, yeah.
you made that was 1 point difference.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go to scoring. All the tiles that are going to be taken have been taken. This is it.
So player vibes tell me that Joey's going to come out on top, and that RJ had the potential king-making decision there. Yeah, it was one or the other. That's player vibes. I'll be very curious to see what the actual scores look like, and you know, we would know that Eric, who was going to score 4 points for those yellows, could have scored upwards of 14 points, so 10 potential extra points if he had gotten that single black. That's what we're looking at. RJ also, remember, Joey made that really aggressive play in round, I think, 1 or 2 of the game, where we said it was round 2 of the game, where we said RJ was down probably about 4 points from that play. And so I'm very curious to see if those 4 points will come into fruition as well.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, we're adding some points here. That's all he did, though. The other 2 rows just sit there, and he loses some points on top of it.
Raw score right now looks like Joey's at 44.
Very close game. We ended with Joey with 44.
Which up our in-game bonus?
Oh, yeah, bonuses. Sorry. Don't
So,
listen to
so
me.
Joey 44,
Go ahead.
Eric 40,
just one vertical.
RJ 42,
seven
and now they're going into bonus
Same.
points.
I also have 7.
So it's 7 and 7. So we're going to see 47 for Eric, 51 for Joey, and we're going to see, I think, another 9 for RJ going to 51. Is that right?
Tie.
He does have the row, and he has. Does he have a column?
Yeah,
Is that middle column
there's a
complete? I don't think
tiebreaker,
it is. I don't think he has a
and
blue
RJ
in that.
won't win.
Oh, RJ just walked away with the victory.
RJ and Joey both have 51.
They tied at
Eric
51,
has 47.
and RJ wins the tiebreaker
is
on a
furthest
single
away
row.
From seat 1.
He's the only player that has a row completed,
RJ
which is
wins?
the first
Wait,
tiebreaker.
no,
I was rows
sorry,
anyway.
no. My
I still
mistake.
have the rows anyway. Oh, is
Wait,
it? It's
is it-
rows.
Is it
Double check. But
Yeah.
They're
figuring this
double
out,
checking the
figuring
scoring
this
right
out,
now.
find the
Incredibly
cheat
close.
The number of
I don't
rows
know if
completed
WSBG does rows
is the
or if
first
it's third player.
tiebreaker.
Pretty sure it's rows.
One moment, please.
They're debating. They're
Can't
double
run fast
checking.
enough.
I think that Joey does not have a row
Poor little
completed, but I
guy.
can't.
Oh,
So
it's a big
no
ball.
rows completed. Okay, I'm actually. They're double checking the rules to make sure that they assign it to the right person. But I think the end score here is 51
copies of Azul
RJ,
in this
51
room. We just
Joey.
need
RJ winning with 1 row completed, which is pretty paltry. Usually you see 2 rows completed by most players. 1 row completed, winning the tie. 51 points for Joey here. 47 points for
a great
Eric.
game,
Plus
guys.
minus
It was
4
very
from top to
low
bottom.
scoring
Very low
compared competitive.
And so
game.
RJ's defensive plays there actually did exactly what he was looking for. He took the -1. This is why he spent so long thinking about it. If he takes the -1 point there, puts him into a tie position. That actually was the thing that prevented it, so that Eric isn't going to win the game. He didn't put Joey in the position to king make him, and instead RJ gets to walk away with the victory off the back of an incredible third-round play.
What would you have had?
The dancing back and forth between being aggressive and playing for himself. I mean, he knows just how to call it every time.
Yeah.
So many times we sat here waiting on him to decide between being aggressive and, oh no, maybe he'll do the thing that kind of helps him but doesn't put anything on anybody else.
Yep.
Yeah, just tremendous play all the way around the table here.
Yeah.
Coming down to a tie. That's fantastic, just unbelievable.
I think the other thing I love about this tie win, so first of all, the second tie win for Azul.
That's right, because last year it was a tie, 64 points.
Yeah.
Which is, quite a bit higher than the 51.
51 is a miserable winning score. That's amazing.
That shows you what an incredibly sort of cutthroat game they played.
A whole bunch of boxing. Yeah.
That would have been the spiciest.
They were just really into each other. What did I do?
Really something there.
Joey was not lying when he called it a spicy game.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It
He
was
called that
spicy,
shot.
and there were a lot of moments that were indeed very spicy, putting a lot of pressure on the other players, and they did a tremendous job. Congrats to all of them. Of course, congrats to our winner, RJ.
RJ, first wing winner of 2025.
Yeah. His second year here. It was interesting talking to him. Also, he was talking about how he plays, on BGA, but a little more casually than some of the other guys, and he kind of has two groups. He plays, for fun with some friends, and then the competitive stuff. But he seemed a lot more relaxed going into it, but also, the way he treats the prep for it. So fantastic stuff, really. Congrats to them all.
Yeah.
And
really
thank you, by the way, for joining me
this
here
is a
and
blast,
providing 90% of the smart commentary that you
Talked a
got to
little
hear
bit too
today.
much.
I made a couple of bad jokes and sat here. So thanks for sitting through that, folks. We appreciate it. Make sure you stick with us on WSBG here for the rest of our coverage. There's more of it coming at you. Things are going to heat up, and hopefully we'll see a lot more spicy games. So big thanks to you. We're going to get out of here, folks. My name is Z Garcia.
And I'm Nick Henning.
We'll see you on the next one. Stick around. Take care.
Bye.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vassell. Thanks for watching this video. Check out our channel. We have a lot of videos on our channel. We have live videos that go up each week, from live Q&As to videos where we take a look at the newest stuff on Kickstarter, crowdsurfing, to top 10 lists and more. There's lots of stuff on this channel. We encourage you to explore it. You can find out more at our website, dicetower.com. I'm Tom Vassell. Thanks for watching another video on the Dice Tower.